quick brief conference because we do have a statement to make. The political leader has a statement to make, and it is based on the press release that was sent out by Mr. Timothy Hammersmith and I guess approved or supported by Mr. Jerry Etley. We, the third force, is supposed to be made up of a council. It is supposed to be a party of parties, and it is made up of a number of parties and some independent candidates. We were not aware, or we were not called to any meeting to discuss any decision to not contest the upcoming election. The AOI, which we and the table represent, had always indicated that we were here to make a difference and to fight the elections that was coming. It identified 12 seats, and we were moving ahead with those 12 seats to contest in September. As I said, it came as a complete shock when to us. I got a call from Mr. Hammersmith while I was on a long distance call, and when I hung up the call, I had a text message saying that a press release had been issued. That was the only discussion that I, as chairman of the AOI, was in. We have been having a number of meetings, of which the political leader and Mr. Hammersmith have been ongoing, and the rest of the executive have been consulted by the political leader. It's very interesting that a force party of 2 weeks old, now gaining momentum, would all of a sudden decide that it was no longer interested in contesting elections. I received a number of calls, and even people have indicated to me that why this decision isn't that we're becoming too much of a force too quickly to certain parties. We don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have a statement by our political leader, and I'll turn it over to the Record now for hosting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Members of the media, thank you so very much for coming out at this very short notice. I do have a prepared statement because I want to be very clinical in what I have to say, considering the release that was issued and considering the details surrounding the release and the lead up to the release. Today at 12:03 p.m., I received an email from the chairman of the Third Force Movement, Mr. Timothy Hammersmith, indicating that he had issued the said statement in the context of current events. Now, I underscore that phrase in the context of current events because there were a number of events taking place within the confines of the TFM and a number of issues and challenges that were raised by the Alliance of Independence directly related to maintaining a level of independence and maintaining a balanced playing field moving forward. The Alliance of Independence stated from the onset that we were not here to support any political organization or to be used by any political organization to get into the corridors of office. So I go back to my statement. The statement issued to the media and then sent to other members of the TFM Council was to the effect that the TFM would not contest these elections as the time frame was too tight to establish the institutional framework for a fully fledged political party in order to contest the general elections of September 7th. The Alliance of Independence notes the following. The Council of the TFM comprises representatives of both the AOI and NAR, and further, as far as we are aware, we were not consulted on the release, its contents or intentions. The TFM comprises more than both parties who were pictured with the Prime Minister at a recent event. We in the AOI cannot say that we are surprised by this development, as we have publicly stated over and over that we will not be used as a vehicle solely to get the UNC into office. We noted concerns raised when two of the persons appeared in images with the political leader of the UNC. However, we believe the fundamental intentions to be larger than this instance. and that there must be a balanced playing field. And further, that our independence must be maintained during this campaign. We noted the challenges raised to the AOI, attempting to maintain a balanced playing field in the TFM's public utterances, namely an attack on the AOI's campaign manager by a member of the TFM for comments commending the opposition leader for reprimanding Mr. Hines when he made distasteful comments about Mr. Hammersmith. We have stated that we will not allow any external influence to overtake the stated fundamentals that brought the TFM together in the first instance. The AOI approached this arrangement with the stated principles, including 1, we agree and we still agree and support the 3 foundation principles as we have continued to enunciate, meaning campaign finance reform, procurement legislation, and a fair vote system. We are not and will not and have not come to the table to support any other political entity covertly or overtly to get into office, and we will stave off any such attempts. Our utterances will not be abusive towards any other political entity whilst on the platform, but will be framed in the context of what we can offer the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So much so that the AOI raised these issues after the first public meeting, where some speakers deliberately came over as actively being in support of one political entity over the other. It is to be noted that whilst we do continue to believe that all third force entities must come together to form a credible option, they must not come together with the sole intention to lend support to any of the other entities, political entities. We must come together for those persons who reside down the middle. We do believe that if the intention of this entire scenario served as a sad attempt to deplete the political stock of the AOI because we were not prepared to play along, then those who may have attempted so to do have failed miserably, as we stood before and we will continue to stand firmly in support of those voters who refuse to be politically used once again. We in the Alliance of Independence continue to present a balanced perspective, giving credit where credit is due and publicly stating our discomfort where and when required. We again reiterate that we do continue to support the 3 principles as stated and that they are firmly required for the democratic process. Based on this, the Alliance of Independence will now meet once again with its interim executive because we met yesterday after conversations ensued based on current issues to discuss the AOI's position, and it was agreed at that meeting by the Alliance of Independence, emergency meeting of the NATEX yesterday, that we were continuing to have some challenges with the maintenance of independence of the AOI and the TFM moving forward, and therefore based on that meeting yesterday, and again based on what has transpired today, we will meet again today, the interim executive of the AOI, to decide on our way forward for this 2015 election, with the stated intent that we will not be encumbered by any political entity. The Alliance of Independence will no longer be associated with the third force movement. We have already confirmed our desire to continue to build and to contest the local government election and to continue to build on our very youth-focused emphasis. We will continue to build our party as we have been doing, and to continue to refuse to be taken for a political ride by any individual, any individuals, or any political entities. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I propose as a statement of the Alliance of Independence. I now open the floor for questions.
Mrs. Secretary, does this then give credence to PNM's theory that the TFM was put together as a device to help the UNC? Because what the collective impression of the careful statements that you've made is that the members, the members not aligned with the AOI had ulterior motives for bringing this together and also for disbanding it. Well, when I say disbanding it, pulling it out of September 7th.
The thing about it is that everybody will have a perception coming into any type of arrangement, because the population of Trinidad and Tobago have grown rather cynical over the years because of all of these types of political shenanigans. You find that any arrangement where you pull people together under whatever the foundation principles would be will be dealt with and will face some measure of cynicism. simply because of our political history. That being said, the Alliance of Independents entered into this arrangement why so with our eyes wide open, because we firmly agreed in 3 areas that we could all be very clear on and very focused on, that being the need for procurement legislation, the need for a fair voting system, and the need to have campaign finance reform. However, we were also very firm on certain other areas, just as the Third Force movement had their minimums. We had our minimums, and that included those 3 foundation principles and the fact that we needed to maintain a balanced playing field, and we will not be used covertly or overtly by any other political entity as a force to be written into the corridors of governance.
So then, I'll ask you again to see if I can just narrow you down on that. Do you believe then that Timothy Hammersmith and Gerald Yetman came in to this and agreed to create this wider body with the specific objective of assisting the People's Partnership?
When you look at the statement that was written and the statement that I made, there were specific objectives for the TFM. The specific objective for the TFM that the Alliance of Independents agreed to was to ensure that we maintain a balanced playing field whilst we negotiate and look at to request each of the major political entities to state publicly what were their statements and what were their feelings and thoughts around the 3 fundamental principles. We never agreed to anything other than that, and we will never agree to anything other than or amounting to being utilized for any other political purposes. With respect to the objectives of the 2 gentlemen, I think that it would be better placed to speak to them to identify what their objectives were, because they were the ones who were pictured with the political leader of one of the major entities before the Third Force movement. Now, knowing this, we did agree to it based on the 3 foundation principles. Therefore, I think that the impression would be left for many persons to interpret.
So would you say you were covertly used then by this body calling itself the 3-Finger Party, sorry, the TFM?
I am saying that the Alliance of Independents refuses to be covertly or overtly used by any political entity that intends to utilize any particular political organization to get into the corridors of power.
Do you think this damages the AOI's chances of being seen as independent by the voters that you're trying to reach?
I think just the opposite. If it would have damaged the AOI's credibility, if the AOI continued to maintain go along and play along and just continue to maintain the status quo. I think that members of the Alliance of Independents have demonstrated before that they will stand for what they believe in, and we will demonstrate again, as we just have, that we continue to stand for what we believe in. You see, in this political climate that we exist in, there is a huge level of fear whenever you have to make certain decisions that sometimes may not necessarily be popular decisions or populist decisions. And we in the Alliance of Independents, we have taken those decisions, which is one of the parameters for our formation, and we take these decisions yet again. It may not be a popular decision, we may face a barrage of insults as we move from here, but sometimes you just have to do the right thing, because it's the right thing.
Another player in this Third Force movement was Philip Alexander. Have you been in contact with Mr. Alexander? What is his take on this?
No, we haven't. We haven't.
Okay, and my next question to you is, they didn't see that they had enough time to put a political framework in place, and basically they're saying that's the reason they come out of participating in the general election. Do you think that the AOI has enough time, seeing that you were going ahead to work with them, now you're pulling out of the entire party again, and honestly there could be some confusion to members of the public who would have been looking at you all as a partnership as well, just like the government, and now you're back on your own. Is this enough time for you guys to get back in the political framework and run an election campaign?
One of the things that the Alliance of Independents, as I mentioned before, we stand for one is that we tend to have no fear in the decisions that we make, because if we continue to operate in an environment of fear, we will not make certain decisions and will continue to be encumbered one way or the next. And against that, one of the first things that we will be doing is to meet again with the members of our interim executive to decide on our way forward and how we're going to continue to build. You see, Krista, in the conversations that we have been having, many of the attractions of the AOI has been to the youthful population of Trinidad and Tobago. And we have heard the voices of the young people, and we will continue to build and continue to develop along that trajectory, be it for this election 2015 or for the local government election, which is right around the corner.
I'm excited because we three points that you joined the 34th movement in the first place. Right. But did you have reservations from day one when joining this movement, when Mr. Hammer-Smith and Mr. Gerald Yetman decided to put together this political entity?
No, we didn't have major concerns, but like with every new thing, you will have some areas that you would, you'll have some gray areas. I think the concerns begin to raise its head when we saw the images of both gentlemen being pictured with the political leader of one party. However, that being said, as I mentioned before, we were assured that that was an instance, and
So
that meetings took place. Yes, we did. That meetings took place with the PNM as well, and we continued to move along based on that assurance, because in the movement of this, the three areas were the things that we all agreed on, and that we all still can agree on in the development of any democratic society.
Mr. Griffith, earlier I spoke with Mr. Yatman, and what he said, two things is that we said there was no meeting. He indicated that it was a round-robin discussion that took place within the last 24 hours. And secondly, maybe Mr. Perez can answer this question. He also indicated that the party was not a platform. They had not discussed running for any seat at all for the general elections because of the core fact that there was not an institutionalized framework and a reform set by the party.
Let me take the first question. I was not included in any round-robin discussions in the last few hours. The only discussion that I had with Mr. Hammer-Smith was yesterday afternoon, when we discussed if we were on the same page and we had the same objectives. And I told him that the only objective that the Alliance of Independence came to the third force movement discussions were that one, we agreed on the three foundation areas, and two, that we need to maintain a balanced approach in the way in which we conduct our affairs and the way in which we conduct our business. After that discussion, I told him that I need to discuss these issues further with my interim executive of the AOI, because we are not prepared to compromise those objectives. After that discussion, I had a round robin with my interim executive where a number of other issues and challenges were raised, and they all agreed that they agreed to the position that we will not compromise moving forward. And then there was another interaction with Mr. Griffith thereafter, but I will let Mr. Perez speak with you. After that, I had no other discussion with Mr. Hammer-Smith or Mr. Yetman thereafter. And then Gary.
Just basically, why would we form a logo and register it with the EBC if there was no intention to contest as a party? From all discussions that I had, we were a party. Even on the platform last week, Wednesday, we will call ourselves a party of our parties, and that's what we call ourselves. So I have no other. We joined knowing that we, the AOI, wanted to go after 12 seats and get identified 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago, and we had expressed those 12 seats to them. The NAR, from what I saw, had also expressed interest in contesting a couple in specific seats, as did a couple independent people that we met with.
Interesting you should mention specific seats. When you speak about this parting, was it in any way hammered by the fact that there was some kind of internal fighting about what seats will be going up for?
No seats were discussed at any council meeting as yet. We had not reached that point as yet.
Was there any concern, Mr. Griffith, about where the finances was coming from? I know that you were kind of pivotal in organizing the meetings and getting the motorcades and so on ready. Was that a discussion that came up when you met with Mr. Munilal in Trotters last week, when you all were chatting?
Was that taped as well?
I'm asking. I understand that concern was raised in the meeting.
About the financing?
Yes.
I think it will take Mr. Timothy Hammer-Smith and Mr. Yetman. They will need to ascertain as to where the financing is coming from. I obviously was very concerned. I was practically the campaign manager for the Third Force movement, coordinating everything from the use of the motorcade and the first meeting and the meeting that was earmarked for today. And what I was just doing was basically organizing everything without providing the expenditure and not knowing the income. So I obviously there would be a concern for the AOI, we have never known who are the financiers for the third force movement. I also, which I to emphasize what Mr. Perez just stated, is that this was always the intention for us to go into the election campaign. So Mr. Yatka, I do not know where it is he will get this from, because we will not go ahead to the EBC and have the symbol registered. And the person who registered the symbol, he's the person who has the authorization, not Mr. Timothy Hammersmith. So basically, Mr. Timothy Hammersmith did not have that authorization to make such a statement to say that we will not be going up in the election. I wish to further add that there were concerns pertaining to the AOI to ensure that level playing field. Based on the concerns that we had from a number of persons, based on the initial meeting held with Mr. Yatling and Mr. Timothy Hammersmith, with the political leader of the UNC, we asked that official correspondence be submitted to all political parties. For 3 weeks, that was not done. On 2 occasions, Mr. Yatling deliberately deferred that. On the 3rd occasion, when I asked again for, I needed a level playing field because we are not here to assist the UNC or the PNM, but all we are here is to represent the third constituency and to ensure good governance. Mr. Yatling then said, let us put it to a vote. I actually left the meeting. The following day, the same thing took place again, when person said that if it is that we have the same objective as the third force movement. Our objective was clear, as the political leader has stated, which was to ensure good governance and to represent the third constituency. The third force movement, as Mr. Perez said, we were building momentum, and if it is that we became a fear factor and there was no confirmation and assurance by the Alliance of Independence that we will go solely into the election as a working partner to one specific body, and messages were passed for the people, that remains to be seen. We intend to ensure and assure the third constituency that the voters this time around, they will not be used. All is not lost. We are here to stay, and we cannot and will not betray the third constituency again. The EOI, we have a genuine intention to represent the third constituency, and we ensure that we will stand on principles as we have done before, and we will continue to.
Did any information come to you, Mr. Griffin? Mr. Griffin, did any information come to you as it relates to monies being sent from UNC finances to advantage the third force movement?
No, I don't know. Mr. Timothy Hammersmith.
Was that why you were concerned?
Obviously, we would have concern, because if you are the campaign manager, you must know income to be able to allocate expenditure. So I was involved in liaising with certain agencies, putting things in place and providing the expenditure, and then we did not know where the income was coming from. But again, this is not to point fingers at anyone, but this is solely to ensure that this is for Mr. Timothy Hammersmith to answer that. I mean, it is very difficult, and I have been questioned at many stages where we have come forward to demand 3 principles, which involves campaign financing, but in the same breath, we have no intention to state where our finances were coming from.
Where are the AOI's finances?
You're looking at him and you're looking at her.
You're looking at the end table.
And we have every single bill and every single check. And Mr. Perez, that all bills, everything is paid by the individuals here. Yes.
And we do have our people in front of our supporters who even put in $10 a month.
Yes.
And
fundraisers. And we have a box.
We have some tickets.
We'll invite the media to
So you expressed concern to Dr. Munilal, did you?
About
The finances and so on, and you were hearing talk that there was likely that UNC was sending money to advantage, but was then later filtered down to the third force movement.
I would want again make any comment pertaining. I'll ask Dr. Munilal to state to make any comments pertaining to that.
Okay, noting these concerns, why not pull out then if you had these concerns about campaign financing? And secondly, in hindsight, would you say that due diligence wasn't followed by the executive of the AOI before getting into their quote-unquote with these other parties?
Let me answer that. You know, in the excitement to serve Trinidad and Tobago, you sometimes do slip up on your due diligence. We did raise campaign financing, and at an executive meeting, a leadership council meeting, and we were told in no uncertain terms that there were certain private individuals in the country who wanted to see this third force survive, but they didn't want their names out. And that was the answer to our questions that we asked 2 or 3 times. The party is only 2 weeks old, so it's not a long time that we pulled out and this and that. So I think that what we're doing here today is a correct step. And I don't think we're going to lose any support. I think in hindsight, when I'm looking forward, we will gain more credibility. Because,
Is the AOI now going to stand as a party alone from here on out?
What
As
do
we
you
go-
say about the
as we go.
comments that are coming forward, especially on social media, that AOI is like COP, it's the new COP?
Well, I think just by how we have operated, we have no intention to what you would call political Stockholm syndrome, where it is that you can abuse inside and then actually feel that your employer, the person who actually kidnapped you, hijacked you, that person now is God's gift to politics, and you will do anything in your power to basically say, I trust Campbell, but the next thing I see on we have no intention to operate like that. We stand on principle, we stand on good governance, and we will not be used. Because if we are used, what we'll be doing is those 150,000 persons, they were used in the last 5 years. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The Alliance of Independence, we stand on principle, and we have no intention to be used as a political tool for any other political party to get into governance. This is not in any way directed or to cast anything against any of the two major political parties. We hold them in very high regard. We think that they have done well towards the development of our country, but we have no intention to be used as a cosmetic tool, as a COPB team, to fool the population into trying to win an election for one particular party. That is not what we got into the TFN for.
Is this going to put spoken your wheel in terms of the fact that we had our first national appearance of any AOI manual in a TFM meeting in Maribel, and now that funding has been, I guess, pulled out from under you. Is that going to affect the kind of exposure you have?
No, I'm going to be speaking to Mr. Perez to get funds. Yes, sir.
Let me speak first. With respect to the issue, if I understand the question correctly, is that the AOI would have been aligned to TFM, and therefore we had our first public meeting, and therefore if we look with respect to the funding of the AOI, they made it abundantly clear where our funding is coming from. We have no issues to hide anything. We have no need to hide anything. We are open and transparent. One of the things that we continue to do are fundraising efforts, and the fact that we are no longer part of the third force movement will not impair the AOI's continued growth and development.
If I could add to just